expert biologist, and when this handsome fellow isn't traveling across the world doing research, he's at home cooking a great meal?
But yeah, that's all true, but Sancho, where did you get that?
An excellent assistant knows how to write an excellent introduction. You got it, boss.
Or taking a long walk on the beach. Who wrote this mess?
This is for the people most supported to us for random, cause Bono was showing our love. Fair and proven, shipping, Cook, Mickelson, Hot and Broke, Summer, Eastbrook. The foundation, DNA related, says it all in the neighborhood, freeze framing. That money, that pride, that color, that straight builds up inside of me whenever I think of my family.
Several strands of this indelible web, keep together, make it stronger, binding us to one another.
Yeah. Hey, Tenakwe, Marako, Waito, Ingo, Wafano, Opera, I know your mom. She's fun and your old man's a legend. They treated me like family, I never would forget it. If you get the message, make those connections. The branches of your tree will be extended. We trace the pathway of our ancestors and pave a new way for their descendants. Hey!
Several strands of this indelible web, keep together, make it stronger. Opening echoes of the past, reverberating through the future. Love together, make it stronger. Let it come.
So the moral of the story is love your fam. You only have one life in the palm of your hand. Stand for one another, tell them that you care. Cause only your day ones who truly be there. Swear till I'm gone, never rain no more. Nami Hiaro Hako Tokato. This is who we are and what we do. For Randy Kiss Father, this one's for you. Come on.
One, got nothing. Two, bring loving. Three, you're feeling it now. Open up your heart and let it go. Got nothing. Two, bring loving. Three, you're feeling it now. Open up your heart and let it go. Got nothing. Two, bring loving. Three, you're feeling it now. Open up your heart and let it go. Got nothing. Two, bring loving. Three, you're feeling it now. Open up your heart and let it go.
The proof, it's staring you right in the face. Why can't you see it?
Unless you find a living specimen to support your research.
Welcome to Plunge Comics. My name's Aru, and I'm joined by my friend and artist, Tomas. Tomas, how you doing, bud?
Hey, hello everybody. How are you?
So we had a bit of a delay, bit of a, I don't know, I had a crazy morning. I got sent work like in the middle of the night, which is like around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And I thought, well, I better get to it, do some work. And this is, I got sent some, what is it? Thumbnails for
Yeah.
for one of our comics, Orlandia, from from Sweden, by Joachim. And also, you sent me across the page, and I got to work on that. But then this came up, so I did a bit of work, and I was like, okay, I could try to finish all of it, or I could like do a couple pages and go to sleep. And so by the time I got to sleep, it was only about 2 hours ago, and I shouldn't have done that, right? It's like kind of really messed up.
It happens that I think I'm gonna do some work, like a little bit, maybe 1 hour and a half, and you end up doing like maybe 3 4 hours, five, and it's like what happened?
Yeah, you get into the groove when you're trying to work, and it's like you don't want to stop because you might lose that momentum, and
Yeah,
also it's just the pleasure. Sometimes I just find it really cool to get on board, get started on the work straight away because that way, that ideas I have, I can think of right there and then. Like, say if I'm like writing something, and I decide, because a lot of times I rewrite scripts after the fact, after the art's come in, because I look at the art and I go, well, I can, I need to make it the art a
yeah,
bit more part of the writing, and so you don't want to lose that momentum because you might lose what you're trying to say in that moment, and might not remember. So I saw this come across just before I came on, like, and I thought it was pretty cool. I would like to make a film to tell children it's okay to be alive. You know, Hayao Miyazaki, right? That's probably the easiest way for me to say, from Studio Ghibli. The guy who Ghibli, who started it
yeah.
all with the Moving Castle and so many
The
amazing.
big head
Um,
behind the Ghibli. It's like,
mm,
man, a lot of people say he's like he's an eminence of the Japanese animation, and also
yeah,
he's like hard bone to how is the expression, how a hard bone to roar, I think, because it's like a guy with a really strong self image of himself and his work, and he puts everything on the table, and he's really strict, but that's why he's so famous and so good, you know.
yeah. I mean, like, it's. I think if you have a direction, right? A lot of people don't have direction. You watch that a lot in Hollywood, and especially in comics, right? And mainstream comics, you can see there's so many people working on a project that the work comes out really messy, and if too many people try and decide what the vision of the work is, and when you
Yeah,
do that, what happens is you're having to, excuse me, try to make everybody happy, right? You're not trying to make the audience happy. You try, or as you as a writer happy, or you as an artist happy. You're trying to make the director happy, your editor happy, your producer happy, your publisher happy. And when you do that, your vision gets so diluted when you're trying to make everybody happy. That's why I don't like creativity or art by numbers. I think that sort of work should be thrown out, and nobody should be like working on a production of something without a director, right? Like, or like a writer, like a singular
yeah,
vision. Like, this is what I want. And hey, sure, have somebody editing to make sure that like it still stays on board. But a lot of times you see, mainstream comics, you have like a lot of people like here or there, like, okay, yeah, well, I think we should do this, we should change this, we should change that. Oh no, this might not work. And at the end of the day, you're going like, what was the original vision again? You
yeah,
know?
that's true.
And you see that a lot. I mean, it's like you can look at anything that's coming out of Hollywood and you can see, well, it looks like there's too many people on this, right? A couple of the latest movies I saw, like have you watched this what is it, like the pitch, or movie pitch? There's a guy that does movie pitches, and he, makes a comedy, and he says like, well, this is what happens, and this what happens, and this what happens, and there's a director, or the studio going, and then what, and then what, like that didn't is the he's trying to question, go, no, don't ask me about that, ignore that. I was like, but that doesn't make sense. And it kind of feels like that with like with a lot of comics coming up. So as a writer, I'm like, this is my vision, and then hand it over to you guys as an artist and go, well, this is what we're looking at, and I'll send over some some images, some photos, some place mock-ups, and then I'll have that come back and I'll go, okay, do I need to tweak this, or has the guy got the vision? Or maybe I
Yeah,
need to tweak what I'm doing, because maybe I didn't see it what I wanted to see it in the first place, and what's coming to me is actually better than what I thought. And I think that's, two people, three people, that's probably it when you want to do a singular vision, tell a story. I think that's what I love about Miyazaki, right? He's a guy with vision. And even though we're not
yeah,
going to be talking about him, I just thought we'd talk, bring this quote up, because I think having that single vision makes work stand out. And who doesn't know Studio Ghibli, right?
Yeah, and that's why when you see a Studio Ghibli style, you say that's Studio Ghibli. That's Hayao Miyazaki.
Even when his son was trying to do one, right? People like
Yeah,
was like, that doesn't like isn't like his dad's vision, but it's like then it shouldn't be his dad's vision. It's his vision, and so stop
yeah,
trying to
exactly.
compare him with his dad, right?
Yeah. That's why some people, even in a documentary, he says that he was like a bit quote unquote disappointed of his son because he was like, he's not too good at directing, he's not too good at this and that, and
Yeah,
yeah, I think maybe because the guy tried to be like his father. So
yeah. And I mean, with someone like Miyazaki, he knows like that's him. Like when you try to copy someone, people are going to notice, right? You see a lot
yeah,
of artists do that. You can tell because, like, I, for me, like when I'm looking at artists and artists coming to us, I look at what is their work. I don't ask them to do something that's something else. It's their work that I want to work and have the look of. And a lot of artists have told me, like, because they're a bit cheaper. Like one of my friends told me, like, he said, like, people come to me and ask me to do work like that guy because I'm cheaper, but they want, but they come to me because, well, I'm not that guy, but they want that guy's work rather than going to him because I can afford him. They'll come to me, and I'm like, that's kind of bad. Like, why would you want to approach someone and go, well, do it like some other guy and not like the work that he's doing? Why just go to the other guy and save up if you have to, right?
yeah. Even
Now,
sometimes I think it happens when talking in a personal view that when you want to break in the industry, you say, in my case, oh, if I draw like him, like her, maybe I'm gonna have some chances, and like this and like that, or maybe this kind of style is now famous or it's popular right now. So maybe if I go to
yeah,
this way, I'm gonna have more work. And I think sometimes you end up losing yourself in the end, and you are like, what the hell was I going to do? Like,
yeah. Well, the thing is, like, if you have a particular style, that style will showcase itself, right? And time,
yeah,
it might, like they always say, like we had a like. I always get reminded of this because it's like a New Zealand. I can't remember Rachel Walker or somebody. She was a New Zealand supermodel, right? Got married
yeah,
to the British singer Rob somebody, and but she had a Pantene ad, like a hair conditioner shampoo
yeah,
back in the 90s. It was called It Won't Happen Right Away. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. And I think a lot of people are rushing to break out as artists without realizing they got to do a body of work without before people realize who they are and accept who they are, right? Um,
yeah,
and and the other thing is you can't just do the one thing anymore. You got to be able to do a lot of things because you don't know if that one thing will fail, and then you get disappointed, and that's all you have. And and it's really important to like be able to come up with more ideas than just a single idea now, because there's other people doing that, and we're going to be looking at artists, especially with the mangakas, right, manga artists, and in the next couple rounds of live streaming, where we look at people like the creative Lane, right, and his body of work.
yeah.
And who else did I have set up? Um, where are we? We're going to look at Niyoroshi Orai, right? Chiaki J. Konoka, well, that's Lane, of course, Amatouch. Um, and also, we're going to look at Shiro Masamune, Ghost in the Shell, and just some amazing writers and artists out there that, have done some amazing work. Now, now
So,
while we're getting started here, I'm just going to play this video that just came up yesterday on news about the police smash crime syndicate, Melbourne, Australia, crime syndicate behind stolen Pokemon cards. So I thought it would be a really cool one to put at the start of, as we go into our thing here. So let me play this. Here we go.
Syndicate behind an 11 Police have smashed a Melbourne crime syndicate behind an Aladdin's cave of stolen goods, including Pokemon cards, weapons and crypto ATMs. They've arrested 4 men and say they're a step closer to unmasking the Middle Eastern crime bosses pulling the strings.
Hired by organised crime gangs and tasked to steal collectible cards.
You know, they came in with wheelie bins. They very well organised.
These smash and grabs carried out at multiple hobby stores across Melbourne, pocketing valuable Pokemon cards and other highly sought-after collectibles likely to be used as currency.
We had about $130,000 worth of product taken. That's not including the damage they caused.
Police cracking down, arresting 4 men after raids in the past week saw $50,000 worth of trading cards, stolen firearms and stolen keys to around 100 cars seized. 2 of the men are now facing 30 charges between them.
It went from like, are we being targeted to, okay, this is something more serious. They will stop at nothing.
Police say the same group stole cryptocurrency ATMs from businesses in Hoppers Crossing, Bentley, Brunswick, Werribee and Vermont.
Cryptocurrency is a useful tool that criminals have to launder money and to get money offshore very quickly.
Police have not only identified the smaller players supplying the stolen goods, but also uncovered the Middle Eastern crime gangs pulling the strings. Now authorities are focused on dismantling their syndicates from the ground up. Warning those involved, paying others to do your dirty work won't keep you hidden. Geordie Wright, 7 News.
So that's crazy. So if you are a comic shop owner, or if you are a trading card or collectibles, be very careful out there. You know, if you're a store owner, small business, because losing 50K or 130K of your inventory, that's the end of your business.
Yeah,
Trust me.
even Pokemon cards is like, what's gonna be next? Like
Well, I mean, like, you know, a Charizard is worth around about $200 minimum, right? Say you got 50 of those and you're done. You know, was that like 100, 50, 200? Is that 20,000 or something like that? And
I have to check because I don't play Pokemon cards a long time ago.
well, you know, I don't play Pokemon myself, but I do have cards. And so, you know, because I like to buy new things that are coming out because it's kind of like an investment. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I just haven't opened from, what was that called? Let me see if I can remember. Well, that new one, Flesh and Blood, you know, and there's some other ones that came up from One Piece. So it's kind of, you know, I kind of like buy them because it's just something new. And also I have a friend who owns a card shop. And so I like to support that as well. You know, so let's go check out our artist of the day, which is Katsuya Terada.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go and have a look at his work first, and then we'll move over to his to this little documentary that they've did for him. So this is Katsuya Terada, or Terada Katsuya, right?
Yeah.
So he has some he's what they call the Doodle King, right? Doodling, not doodle, you know, Doodle King, right?
I think so. Because sometimes I got lost with the artist. I don't know which one is which one. Yeah. So I'm like, which one we are talking about now?
Yeah, so this guy, he can freehand sketch amazing stuff, right? It's just really, really good. Let me just sort out this this camera thing here. Hold on.
It's like the left one is like a Godzilla or something.
Yeah, I've just moved this across so we can see this properly. There we go. Right, what's happening? That we're doing it live. All right, so like I think it's kind of like not Godzilla. It's like the man from the Blue Lagoon or Black Lagoon or something like that from the old TV. And
Oh
then you've
yeah,
got the old black and white TV movies. I mean, not TV movies, actual movies, classic movies. So I think that's what that is, the lizard people type thing.
yeah,
Now
yeah,
robots, and he's worked with Mr. Masamune, right, from Ghost in the Shell,
yeah.
and so he's got, man, his work is so good. It's one of those works that like you just see it and you're impressed. Like, I mean, I'm an artist, so when I see artwork, I'm like that stands out. I'm like, wow,
It's like that balance of everything, like life, originality, style.
and this is just a sketchbook. You look at this like just the emotion, human personality, and then you got the robots, animals. He's just, we're gonna watch him do a live drawing, which is really crazy because like I actually saw that first like probably about 4 years ago when it was happening, or was it like 2018? Yeah, it must be like 6 years ago now. And it was doing, it was played live on YouTube at an event. And so when I was watching it, I was going, wait, who's this dude? And I was watching it, and I'm going, I recognize some of that work. And I think you'll recognize some of the work as well. Now, his was it it's called Rakugaking, all right? That's the name of the book they put out, which is basically Doodle. Some of the images like on here aren't that great, but we'll see his work, Now check out this huge book of sketches. That it's crazy. Look at his Wacom pen. It's like I recognize that digital pen. Yeah, it's like somebody else's like a photo of somebody who owns that work. So you see how big it is, compared to the pen. Yeah, this guy is crazy good. So that's his bit of just his style. Now, Kiku Kuniya, and this is the event that I that they broadcast live, which I got to see, and this is the link if you guys want to watch that later in full or in your own time. But let's check this out.
Cool. It's look really amazing. Like that big book. It's like what?
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave the volume low so we can watch it over the top of it. Listen, and watch him at work. So he's freehand, and like one thing when I was like in my teens, right? I used to do a lot, and like even mid-teens, I used to like do Eddie from Eddie from Iron Maiden all the time. Like that was all I used to do, was like just draw that. And then when I started working, when I moved away from home at age 16 and a half, every break time I used to like just sit there and just doodle away, and some of that work, that style that I did back then, I only remembered when I was doing this.
We want to see the work. We want to see the work.
Like, that stuff I used to do now has transpired years later into actual, this just doodling away into actual sculptures that I didn't even think about until then. When you're sitting around doing stuff, doodling away, and suddenly you realize that, they're not doodles anymore, and now it's part of, ceramic. And, this is baked clay. So it's hollow, it's done as a rugby ball. And, so doodling, a lot of times I talk to parents about kids drawing and stuff when we run our events, our conventions. I tell them that, like, when you have a kid who's doodling away, don't tell them not to do it. Give them pen and paper. Give them some color pencils, right? let them work it out of their system. They might come up with something cool, and maybe you can encourage them to do something more if they start liking it, right? If they start enjoying it, because once you start enjoying something and then you become good at it, someday, you don't know, you can still go get a job, right? But you could still on the side do something as a hobby. You don't always have to go into art as your final thing if you just enjoy art. And I think a lot of times people think, well, if you got to do one or the other, you don't really have to. And a lot of parents who are not artistic think that's what you got to do. You got to either go one way or the other. And it's important to let parents know that that's not what the world is, right? When it comes to art, you can actually, let your kids, have fun with it and not stress out about whether they use their left hand or their right hand.
You have to let it out. Like if you think it too much, you lose.
Now, did you, Tomas, did you, when you started out as young, right? Did you doodle? Did you like have a set idea in your head before you started drawing, or is it something that because now you're an artist, right? As a mangaka, right? So when you started out, what were you doing? Like, I mean, look at this dude, right? Freehand is already, just going at it.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's like for me, sometimes like I have a clear image in my mind and I just go for it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like I have to think or I start to draw before thinking, and it all depends.
Yeah. When it comes to the ceramic stuff, I just go at it. I just get I just make the form and then I start cutting away at it. And then if I get stuck, that's when I start going, well, I need to rethink how I do this. Because I think clay, that's what I love about clay, right? It's like a piece of paper with a pencil. You can always rub it out and restart. And I think that's what I like, that's why I like working with my hands when it comes to clay, because you can just redo it all and fix it. But
Yeah, that's really like enjoyable. Like, oh, I have to start. I want to start again. Okay, cool.
now, when you're drawing like for yourself for pleasure, right? And a lot of people do that. And there's professionalism, and then professional artists who do it for professional as well as for pleasure, and then those who do it for pleasure only. Now, are you a mix of both, or are you like when you're drawing? Do you just like say when you're at work, right? Are you on like in your breaks? Do you do it for pleasure, or do you carry on trying to work?
No, I'm just sorry. I hear the half of the question because my connection is bad. Can you repeat it, please?
Right. So when you're at work in your time,
Yeah.
in your breaks, do you like work for when you're drawing? Do it for pleasure, or do you do it as part of your projects?
I think it's a mix of both because in my first steps, I wanted to like be like, oh, I want to draw because of to feel good about it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like pleasure has its limits. So I gotta say, it's my work. It's my call in life. My call is art. So it's my work. And sometimes pleasure is not there, and I have to work. And yeah, let's work. Don't worry. I think it's more
Now,
like a healthy thing because if you wait for something to be pleasurable all the time, like it gets burned out, and this doesn't give me any pleasure anymore, so I'm gonna leave it out. And it's like it's not for it's discipline. That's when discipline enters the game, and you're like, oh yeah, let's do it, because it's like that balance that you don't feel you want to work, but if you don't work, you feel bad about it, so you go to work.
yeah, that's how I feel when I'm gaming. I've got like probably about over 100 games, yet like I'm talking about like video games.
Yeah.
I got PS2 and I got 360, and I haven't moved up because I just don't need to, because I don't get, when you don't actually play games all the time, why would you go get a PS5 or an Xbox One, right? So I decided that I'll just stick with those two. But I've got so many games. Every time I go to play a game, half an hour in, I'm going like, this is wasting my time. I need to do some work, right? So I'll go and start working, doing comics or writing comics or doing some lettering and stuff, because I feel kind of like I don't want my time to be wasted. However, if I'm
Yeah.
watching anime, right, because that's my leisure, I'm okay with watching anime and just watching and watching, because I know that that's kind of like helping me relax my mind. Now, do you find that as well? Like, what do you use to relax as an
Oh,
artist?
to relax. Right now, I wanted to play video games, but traveling and everything, I don't have any video games. So
Right,
maybe in Argentina, once a week, Fridays, I have like, okay, with my girlfriend, it's free night. You go watch your movies, your TV series. I will go to play some video games or meet
right.
my friend. And here, maybe watch a movie, watch anime too, or even read novels. I'm fully on novels right now. I'm searching high fantasy and green dark fantasy novels, so I'm like that. And it's like the refreshing cycle that you said, like you're tired or you're inspired and you watch anime and you're, oh, I have a new idea for this new thing because I watched this episode of this anime. And it's like you go back to work and you get tired and you go watch anime and you go, and it's like a cycle.
Now I've sped drawing up a bit, like 1.5 times that. Now he was brought over to the US for Kunikinaya. Now they do art books and they bring over Japanese manga artists, sketchbooks and stuff. So this is
Yeah.
the website there, but this is also where you can see them. Oops, wrong, same one. Let me get to that one. Yeah, excuse me. So these are the books here. Like, so you got Vagabond, you know, exclusive material you can get, merchandise. This is the latest from what I can understand. That's available here. You got so much stuff. You got magazines they put out. You got the store. We'll have a look at the store soon. But look at the work. This is like the latest. I know this because I watched I think the first episode of it.
Yeah.
It's not my cup of tea, but it's pretty fun. It's a fun mix of. It kind of feels like Spy X Family mixed with
Yeah.
Assassins, right? Which is the same thing, but how like that's spying, where this is like the crime assassin, former assassin, whereas in Spy X
Uh,
Family they're still spies.
Sakamoto Days, yeah, it's like
Yeah,
really popular right now.
yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Um, Now this one's one of my favorites. Just hoping this doesn't go somewhere else. So Apocryphy Diaries is one of my favorites. I watched the first season. I think it came out in 2023. I loved it. I loved the idea of education about stuff. It's kind of like Dr. Stone, but it's set
Yeah.
in China, right? Manchurian China, I think
Okay.
it is, like early China. And it's Japanese writing, but that time, so you learn about the lower courts, about the concubines and stuff like that. But you also learn about diseases, how to cure diseases. Like when with Dr. Stone, right? You know about Dr. Stone, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
want?
I
Yeah.
got it.
Do you want to give us a short blurb about it?
To be sincere, I know Doctor Stone, but I didn't watch the anime, so I know it's the same artist of Sunken Rock. But I think it's this guy that he's like a big genius guy, and they go back to the Stone age in some kind of thing, and he start to making civilization again. He has like a rival. He's like a super muscle guy, I think, because
Yeah.
I never got the chance to see it right because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pick it later. I'm gonna pick it later, and that's 1, 2, 3 months, and after, and then I forgot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was trying to recommend it. Recommend us. Let me just bring this up. I was trying to recommend it to to some my niece and nephews about it because I like the whole idea about how it's it's such a cool um you know thing, like information, like educational thing, because I thought it was like what it presented as an anime. It was really cool because it kind of like taught you stuff. You had fun. had comedy bits, but also taught you things. So this is a recap of the story, right?
Taiju screams to Senku about confessing his love to Yuzuriha, but just before he does, everyone on Earth is turned to stone. Later, Taiju is released from his stone prison and finds Yuzuriha still intact and meets up with Senku already awake, who reveals that they've been stoned for 3,700 years. They survive together, combining brain and brawn, and go to a cave that drips nitric acid, which Senku reveals played a major factor in awakening them. Eventually, they succeed in developing the miracle fluid and rescue a bird. They plan to use the fluid on Yuzuriha, but are attacked by lions, so they are forced to awaken the strongest primate of high school, Tsukasa, who promptly defeats the lions, saving them.
Yes,
They
I must be
proceed to
going
work
back.
together and make soap,
Yeah.
but later Tsukasa kills someone, stating his desire to purify the world. Having not witnessed the atrocity, Taiju lets slip the existence of the miracle fluid to Tsukasa, who leaves to lay claim to it. Taiju and Senku revive Yuzuriha, but Tsukasa arrives and battles Taiju, but afterwards Tsukasa leaves to build his ideal world of only the strong. The three then travel to Hakone for the hot springs to make gunpowder to make guns. Taiju decides.
And I'll leave it there without spoiling it anymore, right? So
Yeah. Even the gunpowder, they get to the gunpowder era, so it's
yeah. I actually when we were doing like earlier I was showing the new pages from Zealandia issue 2, right? That arrived in the morning, this morning, about with just the sketches of like the planning of the mock-up of the page. I actually, because in Zealandia, in our comic book, we I tell the story about how one of our young girls from this world, from our New Zealand, goes to another parallel universe of New Zealand, where they where all people from different timelines from our Earth arrive in. And so one of the guys I actually brought in there was from like the 1600s of Japan, right? And so I wanted to do that because I wanted to bring a specific type of weapon into that world. And so I had, and I thought, well, which would be a cool weapon to bring in? Because, it's like a miniature world in one little country called Zealandia, right? And this entire world called Akashara. So I kind of took that idea and it's took it from, but like it was inspired by Dr. Stone, because I think it was quite a really cool concept where you can actually talk about something educational and something entertaining and action packed.
Yeah, that's really mixed. Maybe in some shonen or maybe martial arts manga even happens in that way when they tell you about the story of a martial art or a technique. I remember, for example, Kenichi, the strongest disciple. That anime also too was like a guy who learns karate, judo, jiu-jitsu, muay thai, kung fu, and everybody tells them the story of the martial arts, the techniques,
right,
the different ramifications in history. Like, oh, this is the sport version of the martial arts. This is the real version of the martial art, and it's like really cool. And also like battles everywhere.
Yeah, and I think that's something. I mean, because the variety in manga that that we have, and that they're able to tell a variety of stories they're able to tell. That's what really beats out the mainstream US markets, because all they tell you is superhero, right? Marvel and DC, all they do is superhero, and they're the two giants. Like imagine Kodansha, right? Only does let's say boxing anime manga. That's it. We only do sports manga. And then the other one, right? Is it Shisha? Whatever, something like Shisha? And they do. Sorry,
the shoujo, I think you said.
no, the companies that make them. So there's Kodansha, and then there's Sasasha or something like that. Tsukuya or
Oh
something like that.
no, I forgot. I forgot.
So Kodansha makes sports manga, and the other guys make let's say vehicle-based manga, and that's it. And it's like, wait, is that all? And you guys are the top companies in the world. Imagine how quickly manga would be dead overnight. Like people would lose interest. And this is why I think like stuff like this is about like, you know, the whole apothecary, right? Diaries is so cool because it's about a young girl whose dad used to be a medicine person, like a pharmacist person, gets kidnapped, sold off to the freaking, to the emperors as a servant, to his like wives, concubines as a servant, and she saves all these people because of knowledge she has, and that sort of like shows appreciation for medicine, for sciences, but also in a witty, interesting way. And I find that really interesting about how people, you know, the storytelling in Japan, also, and also coming out of Korea, is so much quality in the style because there's just one or two people drawing or writing it, right?
Yeah, and I think it's also it's remind me a bit of how did you call it? Blackjack? No, Jack. No, Blackjack. Not Jack
Blackjack,
Black.
yeah,
Blackjack.
Blackjack.
The doctor
I
that
love
you learn.
Blackjack.
Yeah, you learn a lot about anatomy, about medicine, about the different sicknesses and body conditions, and you're like it's more like a documentary than an anime. It's like two for one.
Yeah, I mean, like I think I've watched everything that's come out with Blackjack because of that, because I find it interesting, just like the whole doctor, the science as well, the science biology, but the action, the detective work that goes into it, like trying to, it's a really good overall story, and and the way it's told is really fantastic because it's a guy who's himself has been saved because of through medicine, through operations, decides to become a doctor himself and becomes one of the most genius doctors because of his dedication to the
It's
art.
like yeah, and it also it's like a love letter to Frankenstein because it's almost like it's like that thing of a guy that gets obsessed with science, with medicine, and you have
Yeah,
Dr. Frankenstein who makes a monster, and you have Black Jack that he becomes like the best surgeon in the world, and it's like the two sides of the coin, I think.
yeah, it's like like he doesn't go too crazy, and it's
Uh,
funny as well, right? It's like that's the cool thing about it. It's like it's serious as hell, but it's also has comedy, has fun detective work, and let me see if I can find a trailer for it here. Um,
it's like a bit of a mystery why it doesn't have like a live action movie or show. Because right now there's a lot of animes with live action versions, and it's like Black Jack. It's a classic, and it's really good.
yeah, I mean, it all depends on how how well they can do it or not. I mean, you know they've got full on what is it called? They've got like full on animated movies on it, and it's been around long enough for them to do something with it. But I think
Yeah.
sometimes you could lose a lot in the going from um, animation to live action, and that's happened a lot. And
Oh
it
yeah.
some and the other thing is a lot of medical dramas have already been done. Like you look at a lot like House, right? House is all and there's House. There's also there's like any given day you could watch a week long. Basically any day right now you could watch turn on an American TV. There'll be a drama about medicine on it. You know,
Grey's Anatomy, Doctor House.
Grace, yeah. What was? There's a whole bunch of them. Like there's like endless supply of them. So I think bringing out something this classic, people would think, oh, they're just trying to copy something else. Whereas like a lot of what I think a lot of people do now, it's kind of like, I mean, it's just medicine, but like the style, the creativity is, is really cool because Blackjack goes back like into the 60s, if I remember right. So I'm just going to play this trailer and then we'll go back to
Cool.
Katsuya.
Yeah, sure.
女は罪を恐れなかった。男は神を恐れなかった。なるほど。私と関わったという証拠を残しては、あなたの病院に傷がつく。
あらゆる臓器、神経、血液、結合組織まで壊され、症状は全身に及び死に至る。進行性多臓器不全症候群。
おい、ブレーン製薬は君に一体何をしたというんだ。
この病態を我々はモイラシンドロームと名付けました。
女は来たるべき時に全てをかけ、男はいつものようにメスを取った。
ハロー、ドクターブラックジャック。夢を一緒につかみませんか？
モイラシンドローム。感染暗数は無限。我々に21世紀への資格はあるのか？
ブラックジャック、あなたは私と共に最後まで戦う運命にあります。
ブラックジャック。
Yeah, I think, when was it like? Let me just ask, hold on. So when was the manga?
I just remember a conversation with my father. My father is the doctor, so, and he also loves some comics, all comics. And I talk about Blackjack and an episode that there was a patient with his organs was like in the other side, like the heart in the right side, and I told him about, oh no, they had to use a mirror on the ceiling so they can reflect the body and they can make the surgeon. And my father says, that's crap. You don't need a mirror to operate a person with that thing. And it's like that's the fun thing also, because maybe you share these things with someone who knows and they told you, oh yeah, that kind of diseases happen because they say it is true that some people have the hearts and the organs in the other side. And my father says, oh yeah, that's the thing that happens before you're born. You have your organs in the other side, and a few months later it changed to your left, like the heart goes from right to left, and sometimes it doesn't happen, and it's normal. It's like you live like a normal man or woman, and you only have your organs on the other side. That's all.
Yeah, and that's the thing about like the human body, right? We will never know like the complete knowledge of it. Like we've got into the DNA and stuff, and this is what I like. I love, you know, there is a fiction mixed with reality in there, and so you don't have to like go, this is medicine for 100%, right?
Yeah,
It's just
like playing a video game and oh, I'm like a ninja right now because I played a video game of ninjas. Like,
yeah. So back to Katsuya Terada, like it's so skilled. He's just so skilled over decades of working that he just knows where everything goes. And I think that's the thing about like when you're young, right? Your eyes and your hands that hold control, the connection or whatever, I don't know what they call it, but like being able to like know where, be able to see what you're supposed to, what goes where and proportions and stuff. And a lot of people don't learn proportion. I know a couple that, that class themselves as artists, but they haven't never learned proportion. And they've been lazy, or they think they've already known enough that they won't learn it. And so their proportions come out wrong. And people can tell right away, that this guy didn't spend enough time on that area because he thought it was like not worthy of it, right?
yeah, that thing. I think it's sometimes like this thing of I want to be like this kind of style, and maybe some people say like, oh, I'm not gonna draw the anatomy. I'm not gonna learn anatomy because I want to draw maybe more cartoonish or maybe more stylized. So anatomy is not gonna be realistic, and I'm not gonna study anatomy. But the fundamentals, if they're not there, is like busted. I know you didn't study what you need to know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, you can tell his dog, like, even though he's freehanding it all right with a freaking felt pen, permanent marker, he knows anatomy, right, to the point what he's doing. Like, it all makes sense. You look at it, and go, yeah, everything's right, because you can always tell. Like, if something's wrong, you can always tell. And I have a problem. Like when I'm doing my own work, I can't tell what's wrong because I'm looking at it for so long. Like even like writing something, I think I've already written it some word and it's not there. And I later will go, well, what was I thought I wrote that. It's not there because your brain thinks that like it fills in the gap itself. And that's why like editor, having an editor is good because or someone who's spell checking me is good because it means I like when I'm sending out reviews, it goes, hey, can you make sure I haven't missed out anything because I know I'm bound to miss something because I'm looking at this freaking page all the time,
Yeah, because it's like you have to get someone else someone out of your head and can you watch this because I don't know if that is something wrong or right. And it's I think also I remember one of my teachers told me that there's like a range when you become even better to your craft. There's like a limit that you become good to the people who doesn't know the work behind your work. For example, maybe
Right.
someone who doesn't know about script read your script and say, oh, this is awesome, but some other people in the same range as you can spot the little difference
Yeah.
because they know the craft. And that's maybe even difficult because you know that some that writers and some artists are going to see the work and they're going to spot the quote unquote mistakes. I think that's the real challenge.
Yeah. I think, I mean, I don't remember what it was, but I watched the movie and I didn't know why it was wrong to me. And I couldn't tell. I mean, I knew something was wrong, something was off, but I couldn't like put into words what I thought was wrong with it because I've learned, because my background's, I spent 3 years, got a bachelor's degree in filmmaking and storytelling, and even I can still get it wrong when I'm trying to do things right. But I watched this, billion, not a billion, like $200 million film, and I could sense something was wrong, but I didn't know what was wrong. And then later, when somebody explained it, goes, "That's what was wrong. That's what now it makes sense," because I was like, I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't connect the dots. But when you actually know the rules, why this doesn't work the way it does, or why it hasn't worked, because this doesn't make sense. So I'm gonna put up talking about that. I'm gonna put up this video that I watched yesterday about pitch meeting or something like that. I think it's called pitch meeting, and it's
And also,
about this.
yeah,
Sorry.
sorry, that it's frustrating when that happens when you say something is off and I don't know what they said. Like what's the wrong thing there? It's like finding Waldo.
Yeah, I think yeah, this was the one that really got me. It was like Star Wars. What was it? It was Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. I think it was Rise of Skywalker that got me. Right? Oh no, the Force. Yeah, no, it was Rise of Skywalker, and that was it. It was like I saw Force Awakens. I thought this was going to be a really cool movie because I like the whole story looked like it was going to be really great. And then we found it was just a rehash of the first three movies, right?
Oh yeah.
But so let me bring this up. But I didn't know what was wrong with Skywalker until I saw the pitch meeting, or somebody was explaining it to me. Didn't make sense. This didn't make sense. Oh, it was one of my friends actually, Will, who said it like this is why this doesn't make sense, because this happened and this happened. Like, why did that happen?
So, you have a Star Wars sequel for me? Yes, sir, I do. So in the opening text crawl, we're going to find out that Palpatine is alive again, and he sent out a transmission to everybody. Oh, Palpatine is back? How is that possible? Well, the dark side is a pathway to many abilities some would consider unnatural. Oh, very vague. What does that mean? It means get all the way off my back about this and don't bring it up again. Oh, okay, let me get off of that thing. So it turns out he was pulling the strings this whole time, like he created Snoke. Seriously? Yep, we didn't see him because he was in a basement with strobe lights. It's so strange that we never hinted at this at all whatsoever in any way. Yeah, pretty crazy, but this was This was always the plan. Was it though? I mean, yeah, I wouldn't start a trilogy without a roadmap, you know? I didn't do that. Well, okay then. So what happens in this thing? Well, you know how in The Last Jedi we found out that Rey's parents are nobody? Right, yeah, between that and the Broom Kid, it seemed like maybe we were going for like a hopeful message, like the Force can be with anyone, you don't have to be related. Well, it turns out that Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter. Oh, she is? Yeah, pretty cool, right? So that means that Palpatine has gotten, you know, intimate. Oh my God, yeah, no, I guess it does. Oh no. Oh, no. Oh, I'm picturing it. So am I, and I hate it. Do it. Oh, he for sure said that. Okay, maybe we can move on. I would literally love nothing more. So what happens in the movie? Well, the good guys want to get to Palpatine, but to do that, they need to get a thing. Okay, but to get that thing, they're gonna have to go to a place and get another thing, and go to another place and get another thing. Okay, kind of sounds like a lot of fetch quests, like in a video game. Well, people love video games. That's a good point. Video games make money. So where do they go? Well, they go to Burning Man and they meet Lando Calrissian, remember? He's from the other movies. He is, and he's like, I have a bad feeling about this. He says the thing, he says it, and then the good guys are gonna get chased by stormtroopers and end up in a tunnel. Uh-oh, that's not good. Actually, it is, because they find a dagger that's a clue to the exact thing they're looking for. Oh, wow, what are the odds of ending up in that exact spot after a chase? Astronomical, but this is space, so that's okay. Can't argue with that. So anyway, then Rey heals a giant snake and they get out of there. She heals a snake? What are you talking about? Well, you can heal people and animals by giving them some life force or something, I decided. Oh, suddenly deciding that the Force can do things is tight. It is. So anyway, this dagger has Sith writing on it that only C-3PO can understand, but he can't translate. Why? Because of his programming. But actually, why? To extend the plot a little. Okay, gotcha. So they need to go to this other planet to translate it, but Chewie gets captured. Oh no. Yeah, and he's being taken away on a ship, but Rey accidentally blows.
I can't even know more of that. That's basically what my brain was saying. Why? What? And I couldn't articulate it, right? It's like it just happened, but why did it happen? Is that what's supposed to be happening? Like that's not how it works, right? And then they tell you like, well, you're just an idiot. I'm like, but I've watched all the others, and the story's there in my head, so I know how things are supposed to work. And now you're telling me there's something else is supposed to work.
Yeah, and also I think they wanted to use like the what do you call it, the nostalgia card on this, like oh, Star Wars again, yeah, a lot of people who love Star Wars are gonna go to see it, and I think
nobody.
I remember I think it was the second movie that I didn't end watching it because I was like, okay, the conflict ended, right? No, they continue fighting. Like really, they continue fighting. That's it. I'm bored. Turn it off and then go.
Yeah, I mean, I was so excited for it. I actually had my beard colored the red, white, and black, or the brown. That's how excited I was because I had the poster on the wall from Force Awakens, and I was like, man, this is so cool. I paid about $60, had it all done. Yeah, and like afterwards, I was like, I just wasted my money. You know, it just felt.
Yeah. And also I remember like after the end of the second trilogy, you know, like the 1, 2, 3 with Anakin and Obi-Wan, like there was a lot of speculations about the new saga, and they were speaking about the Star Killer. Maybe some people say, yeah, they're gonna make the Star Killer movies like about the secret disciple of Darth Vader, and everybody. It was speculations of everybody, and it was like, dude, Darth Vader has an apprentice. What the hell? And suddenly we have this, like.
Yeah, and then we have that, and then we have that, and now like spend like they had all this years of history, and they just go and ruin it by people who don't even know the law. Okay, so this is from Archipel, a website called Archipel. I mean, a channel, I should say, on YouTube called Archipel, and this is life drawing. So they follow him around, and it's pretty cool. Just you know, because he does a lot of drawings and stuff. So it's, I mean, like a lot of biological animals and stuff, birds mixed into his work, like his sci-fi work. So we'll watch a bit of this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, so there will be subtitles for those who are like listening in. And it's like whole, you know, about 15 minutes or so of it, 17 minutes. But it's going to be hard trying to like read the subtitles out to you. Hopefully, a lot of it won't be subtitles, but we'll see. I love the ocean, man. When I was a kid, I used to like hitchhike to the beach because we lived in Bay of Islands. In the weekends, Saturdays, go fishing with my rod.
Yeah, in summer I also went to the beach too, but I'm not from fishing. I'm really bad. I don't have patience for fish.
Right.
But my mom, yeah, she
ウィキについてはほとんど知らないと言っても過言じゃないぐらいの知識量で、まあ歴史が古い島みたいなところでの捉え方はしてましたけど、来るまでには別に具体的なイメージはなかったというか、そういうところですね。
Wow, look at all the history there. The statues and stuff. Let me turn it down a bit.
no, yeah, it's like almost like a dreamland, like something you see in fantasy books.
There was there's a recent time travel anime that I really love. I think it was only about 24 episodes or something, where they relive the day. It's like a Groundhog Day about aliens and stuff like that. That was kind of looks like that might have been based on this island.
Oh, I have to check it out. Maybe I don't have the name right now, but I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, let me find it. Like
ライブドローイングはもともとそのノーアイディアで立ち向かうので、あんまり事前に考えないし、その主体とかも作らないんですけれども、普段どれだけこう溜め込んでいるかみたいなところが割と勝負の鍵で、それはまあ溜め込むっていうのはその絵的なボキャブラリーというか、そういうディティールの積み重ねで画面を構成していって、まあ、結果割とグラフィカルにまとめてしまうんですけれども、まあ、下書きしない絵の限界というか、ある程度自分の中で見える構成っていうのがかなりグラフィカルじゃないとちょっと辻褄が合わなくなっていくっていうのもあるんですけど、技術的にね。だからまあこっちに来て得られたイメージの断片を描いていく。まず最初に描いたものが何に見えるかみたいなところからスタートするんですけれども、
he does it such like huge drawings, right?
Yeah, and also
I mean,
like it's like a mural. Like
the thing about doing large pieces like that freehand, you got to really have an idea in your head. I mean, he's doodling and stuff, but he like proportionately, how to put things where, because that's the thing about like, doing something large. Sometimes some pieces can be very small, and you're like, it should have been bigger or something.
yeah, that's right. You have to like step back and watch it if you're doing okay. I've been like measuring some things before, but this guy is like, let's do it. I don't care.
最初に出会ったものにどう向かうかっていうことで、 最初に出てきたその例えば牛のイメ
I
ージ
love all the
から
statues and
池の
stuff
中に
at
い
shrines.
ておかし
I've
くな
always
いビジュアルみたいなものを
that's one place I want to visit is
その
Japan.
そのモチーフにマッチングしていくっていう作業をずっと
I
Yeah,
prefer
I
any other
mean,
繰り返
places.
していくわけなんですけれども
yeah, me too. I
Carry
wanted
on.
to visit Japan because the how you call it this
寺院
Fushiminari mountain.
この
You have all
作りた
the
もので
like the
出会った人とか
it's like that mountain that you have like multiple temple doors.
作業をしてて
All right, right.
So,
Yeah, it's like maybe 3 hours climbing. No, not climbing, like doing some trekking.
こう分析的
Yeah.
に考えてないので
I think, and they say it's
この手
beautiful.
はいいか悪いかみたいなことでしか前に
Look at
進
the
んでない
details, man.
でまあ繰り返しが効かないので
And
そういう
effortlessly, it's like the guy is like, yeah, I'm not thinking about it. I'm just, it's like breathing for him. It's like,
Yeah.
書きやすかったのかなっていう気がしますね。イメージの
But you notice he keeps stepping away,
大きかったっていう
like just to see what he's looking at and how he's spacing it out. And a lot of times, like artists don't want to step away from their work; they're so stuck in, and you need that break to step away and refresh and go back at it. You know, even if it's a couple moments, like minutes, whatever, because it
yeah,
allows that your mind to settle down a bit.
yeah, but it's like he's doing, like they say, in one sitting.
Mm.
Also, like, it reminds me of that anecdote from Frank Frazetta that he says he made the Conan the Barbarian portrait in one night. Like, what?
I think it depends on like that energy you have, right? If you're really relaxed and if you're really in that moment, you can do things quickly. Like I've heard of singers do that, right? Like musicians. Oh, we just wrote in 40 minutes. It's like, what? Because yeah, however, some songs take 3 months or a year, right? But that one, you know, just took 40 minutes or half an hour, you know.
Yeah, because I think that's sometimes the hard thing in every aspect of the arts, writing, drawing, singing, everything. Like being relaxed.
極端な言い方をすると
Yeah.
飽きてるわけですよ。そのライブ
Actually,
を書くということにね。でもその飽きてる中で前のよりは
talking about that, there's an episode of that talks just about that episode of Spy X Family. I just watched early yesterday. What was it called? Because it's you know the boy that they're trying to get into his you know, like she's got a, I can't remember what's her name. Not your Anya. Yeah. So Anya's at school with this boy whose father is a politician who Lloyd wants to get close to, and then the relationship between the boy and his father is so intense. So the father tells him, like, you have to study harder and harder if you want to please me, right? And the boy's like, yes, I want my dad's, because he's like he wants his dad's you know, his dad's recognition of him and love, right? Affection from his dad. So what he does is he works even harder to a point where his friends are going, dude, you're like your face, you know, you're tired all the time, you're exhausted. And so this is actually what episode was it? I think it was like season 3, no 2, where they actually talk about relaxing the brain, because it's like otherwise you just get so stressed out that you actually make mistakes and that you don't even see the mistakes you're making and so on. Now, which one was it?
Yeah. And also, it's like maybe when it happens when you're relaxed, is that you do something and you say, "How the hell did I do that?" And you try to recreate it and you don't know why, because you were in the moment and in the zone, like they say.
Now, if I think it's yeah, because your brain, when it's relaxed, it's when it's like the calmest, most creative, because you're not like stretching every, you know, every creative bone you have, because it's not, you know, all that pressure's gone. So when you're, you know, and I think that's what a lot of people don't get so stressed out when it comes to work, and why they get writer's block or artist block is because they haven't given themselves time to relax. And you know, and so in the episode, they send the kids off by force, right, and make it as part of a lesson for
Yeah.
them to just go on a hike, on a picnic, just to go on a hike, you know, because the kids just, you know, he just doesn't want to go because he wants to keep working to please his father, and the stress of it. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't seem to. Oh yeah, Damien's. Yeah, it's episode 2 of season 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Damien's field research trip, and it's just this really amazing moment. Like this is it here. This is like this little. We'll get back to Katsuya in a minute, but like this is the image, you know, from one of the screenshots. So this is Damien, right? He's the one stressed out. His friends like work with him to try to get the work done faster, but they don't want to. He doesn't want to hang out with them because he wants to put all his every spare time into chores, working harder, pleasing, trying to get the Stella, right? The next, the Stella is like this award, and the more you have, the better, future you will have. And so, yeah, this is really cool. Like how, where they end up, and you just that whole nature, right? Just spending time in the nature, and like look at his eyes, just because it was like,
He's so tired.
yeah, because he's trying to please his father, and it was like it's just not working. But I do like the idea of some of the some of the stories that come through, and there's like this is just a day at the beach, basically, a picnic. And,
yeah.
where there's hardly any action or anything. There's nothing right that, but it's this moment they take away, and a lot of times people call that a filler, but it's actually a really strong message in there about just taking the moment to just relax and learn to just be chill for a moment. Now, before I go back to the life drawing, so this is the anime I was talking about that could be based on that island. That's called Summertime Rendering, Summertime Render. If you haven't seen it, do give it a go. If you're into sci-fi and into supernatural stuff, it's really cool. It's like kind of like Groundhog Day. If you're into that sort of story, it's pretty cool. Let me grab a trailer off that. So it's Summertime Render. I didn't read the manga, but I watched every episode of the you see here. Open up. Volume.
和歌山県和歌山市北海峡に浮かぶ人ヶ島。俺は2年ぶりにこの故郷に帰ってきた。
Wait, hold on. Where's the one with like English subtitles or in English? Wait, is it the only one? Can't be the only one. Ah, hold on. Let me see if yeah, I give it a 10 out of 10. That's how much I love this one. It's really good.
I gotta check it out. That one.
Yeah, it's really good. Let me see if it's got a dub trailer. Yeah.
These last days I didn't watch too much anime. I just watched this show called Secret Level from Amazon.
All right.
Yeah, it's like each episode is like a story of a different video game. I was like, for example, like in episode 1 is Dungeons and Dragons. Episode 2 is Sifu. I think episode 5 is like Warhammer 40k. So other episodes you have like Mega Man. It's like really interesting. But but I have to check it out. I haven't watched anime a long time ago, so which one
I know
has?
I got to watch anime every other day because it just helps me relax. Just like I don't know, I just find it very relaxing.
影の病言うやっちゃこの島に伝わる風土病みたいなもんや影の病にかかったら影を見るようになる影を見たもんは
This is a really good anime, manga, I guess.
But also, like, the animation looks good.
どうなってんのよ、牛尾。ほんまは何があった？
いつまでも湿っぽかったらお姉ちゃんに怒られるわ。今日は今日でおしまいにせな。
俺がついていながらすまんしぺ。
私だ。そこら中にいるよ。まったく。
影の病にかかったら影を見るようになる影を見たもんは死ぬ。
お父さん、よう言うてたわな。お皿洗って後片付け終わるまでが料理やって。
どういうこっちゃ。俺は7月22日をもう一度繰り返してる。あいつミオじゃない。こんな話してるお前が影かもしれやんちゅうこっちゃな。
我が兄ながら非科学的です。
網代新平、ほんまにあの人がみんなを救うの？
新平、ミオのこと守っちゃってね。
待ってくれ牛尾。
So yeah, he's got 3 days and he keeps reliving those 3 days every time he, it's like Groundhog Day. And it's really, really well done.
It reminds me of, did you read the manga All You Need Is Kill?
I think so.
It's
Now,
like
was it made into a manga anime?
No, they made a movie. Sorry.
Let me just see. All You Need Is Kill. Oh, you're talking about Edge of Tomorrow, which they made into Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah. I'm trying to get the manga for that. Like, yeah, All You Need Is Kill was made into Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise. And
Exactly.
Yeah. Where the aliens attack, and every day it's just you got that time or a week or something, and it replays over. It's so good.
Yeah,
it was.
And also there was a manga with like the same premise, like a guy repeating the same day, but the synopsis was like this guy has a sister. The sister is like sick. He keeps repeating the same day, but her sister gets even sicker even each day it passes. So he has to reach like a week. He has to make to pass the next day instead of repeating the same day. So he has to start killing people, so he can reach to a span of a week. So her sister can get treated for the sickness. So the guy has to go and make assassinations to reach a new day. I have to check it out. the name maybe.
So what they're saying here is that they're going to do a part 2. I've been waiting for the part 2 because when I watched it for the second time, the first time when I watched it, I didn't realize it was based on a manga, and so I went and watched it when I watched the second time. I realized, hey, it's actually based on a manga. When I was looking for more information about it, and now they're going to be looking at doing a part 2 because it's actually a trilogy of books that are based on it. So
Yeah, I think it's like a light novel, and they made two manga volumes of that show.
yeah. Now let me bring up All You Need Is Kill, so we can show you guys what the book looks like. All you need.
I
Yeah, and I
think it's
really want. This is another one like Blame. I want this manga. So yeah, light novel made into a. Now, isn't this? Yeah, Suecia. That's the other. Yeah, I mean, earlier I was talking about like the two. That's like there's two big major companies like Marvel and DC in China. Sorry, in Japan, it's Suecia and Condenser. So
oh
this
yeah,
is yeah. So this is All You Need Is Kill. This is so if you ever see this, you know what it is. You know. I mean, what the work is. Now, it was written by. It was light novel and was Hiroshi Sakura Zaka, right? In 2004, that's when it was published and written by. So that was the light novel. The manga was written by Ryosuke Takayuchi and illustrated by Takashi Obata. Now,
Ichibata was the. I think it's the same artist of Death Note. I think.
let me see. Death Note, Bakuman, Platinum,
Yeah,
and Hikuro no Go. Yeah, yeah, he's got a real realistic art style, but also very crazy art style when it comes to his aliens and demons, which is pretty
yeah.
cool.
With that, I think in the manga, I really love the mech suits, like the power suits they use. Like, oh,
Yeah,
it's look some like maybe some kind of Iron Man thing. But
yeah,
in the movie, are so like, yeah, that thing doesn't protect you at all. You don't have armor. You don't have like a helmet. And the thing also is like in the movie, the monsters, the aliens are like really good, and the design in the manga are like really simple. And I was
mm,
like, oh, you have like each the manga has like one part right, one part wrong, and the movie has one part right and the other wrong. But after all, they are both good adaptations. Like
yeah,
the movie, I really love the movie.
yeah. I love the movie. I think I gave it like a 10 or something. Was it 9? What did I give it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Age of Tomorrow. 9 out of 10. I gave it a 9 out of 10. So, I mean, look at the details in this work, man. This is just like one of the full page, you know, um, interior pages. And you're talking about the suits they're wearing. It's like here, like it's like been blown up, so the arm's just bone, right? That's all that's left. It's just bone. There's the hand there, but there's the bone. You know,
Yeah, like and how the
very
guy is getting crazy each day because he can pass that day span.
yeah,
And he sometimes says like, I lost the count of how many days they repeated.
yeah. Oh, well, that one's from day 154, right? It said like
Yeah,
iteration 154. So this is all you need is kill. Like, yeah. So volume 1 and volume 2. What else is there? So let me just get some interior out. So this is a GIF somebody made.
how the hell they make so many details? I don't know. Like I want
Yeah,
to
I
make
think.
yeah. Go on. Sorry.
Well, it comes down to being good at what you like. I think I remember like when I'm going back, right, when I was doing like when I was sketching and I was getting into details and like before I had my accident, right, um, I'd do, you know, Eddie from Iron Maiden, the main character, and I would do stuff like from the Midnight Meat Train, which is a Clive Barker horror stuff, right? and I'll just go really detailed because that was just the way I wanted to do it. It's not like because you want to force yourself to do it, because if you force yourself to do it, it doesn't feel like you don't feel free to do it. And like, when I was doing huge portraits or like doing renders of like little tiny Wolverine images for like people were paying $100 for for A2 size paintings of Wolverine, and this is like when I was like freaking 20, 21, 22, when I didn't even like sell art. Like people were like, "Oh, how much do you want?" Oh, well, it's going to take me 10 hours, so here's $10 an hour. That'll do that. That was it, and that included the material, right? That was just my time because I was just going to do it anyway. But then they paid me to do it, and it was just like I just did it because I enjoyed doing it. It wasn't because I'm doing it because you're paying me to do it, and now I have to do it because I have to pay. Like, there's a difference between just being free to do it. So when you go to sketch, I think it's knowing what you're good at, and the practicing of it makes you good at it. And a lot of people don't like to practice and practice and practice, and so when they don't practice, like we were talking about earlier, but anatomy being wrong, it's like writing. If I'm not writing all the time, I'm going to be bad at writing. So I'm continuously rechanging what I'm writing, what I'm editing all the time, because even to a point where, like we were talking about just before, like this morning, 4:00 this morning, pages came through from Sweden, just like rough thumbnails, right? And I'll go through and I'm looking at it, I'm going, yeah, I need text on this. I don't have it in the script. I need text on this because it looks really cool, but people might not know where this is going, because I described where it was going in my description for the artist to do the page, but I needed to put some text in so that the reader knows where this is, right? And so it kind of like, it's you always got to keep working at it. I think a lot of people think, okay, it's here and nobody checks it and it just goes out. And I think that's how not anime, sorry, that's how comics have become now, right? In the mainstream, it's like, here's my script, you draw it, you color it, you editor checks it over quickly to make sure it's nothing in there, right? That's going to cause problems or whatever, or it's in sync with whatever, and then it's published. There's no like, let's make sure that everything is right on this, that there isn't mistakes, that it works, that the character is the character that people know and love, and that there is nothing different that's going to stick out like a sore thumb. And you don't really want sore thumbs if you're doing anything artistic, because that's the thing that people look at straight away. They don't know why it's wrong, but they can see it's wrong, and that pulls them out of the story.
Exactly. Maybe I think it's like they became like the sausage machine, like that's the comparison that I always say, like in the Pink Floyd, the wall, like they press the students on the machine. I think that's with they come like, don't worry, no, take it out, we have to sell.
Yeah, you're right. The wall with the mincer, you go in like this and you come out like, it's So this is some of the clips from someone's put together as a GIF from everybody pronounces differently depending where they come from.
Oh, me it's GIF, like.
Yeah. So look at the aliens from there, right? And this is what you're talking about earlier, like how the aliens are different and
like they are like these little or small balls with mouth, and they throw lasers at you, and in the movie are like these amalgamations of muscles, like they move and twist in every way, like shadows, and like, oh man.
Okay, let me see if I can get because I know if I go to IMDb does a copyright claim. So if I stick with YouTube, I might be able to get a aliens. That's the one we want. We want the aliens.
Yeah, the mimics that they call.
Upper mimic screen time. Right. So here it is. So someone's put up a little clip about that. So, and this is why I have a lot of pride in like appreciation, right, in anime and manga, especially manga, because anime comes from manga, right? But there are some really cool standalone animes as well, like Senshu. Like I've been watching this one called Senshu, where it's about a manga artist who dies at her workstation, like a director artist who has a big new project coming up because she's got to live up to the last big project she did, and she does it all by herself. And then she like dies and goes into this world of this anime movie or series that she loved as a kid, and she ends up there knowing everything about it. But this is a place where aliens attack, and so it's pretty kind of like in line with this thing, right? Because they're both on the alien. But Senshu, so it's called it's ZEN, and that's what I've been using as an intro to. Let me just play the to the other channel. So this is a little clip from Senshu. Is it that one? I think this is the one. It's only about 16 seconds.
Man, I can't believe I'm regretting not watching more isekai anime. How the heck do I get back to the real world?
Yeah, so that Senshu where she ends up there.
No,
Carry on.
no, sorry. Remember, kids, to watch isekai animes. You don't know when you're gonna end into an isekai world. So
Yeah. So that was Senshu. So it's just came out this year, and I'm loving it. It's all in English, by the way. So it's not like it's also English. I mean, it's English dubbed, so it's like released both at the same time. I think it's on, if I remember right, I think it's on. I think it's put up by Netflix, maybe. Let me just check.
oh, I don't remember because I think no, maybe because
Yeah.
I think yesterday I checked Netflix and I didn't saw something like that. Maybe.
Right. It's put out by MAPPA, and you know that anime is going to be, I mean, like animation is going to be good if it's put out by MAPPA. MAPPA is one of the really good animation studios. But yeah, it's really cool. So let's have a look at. I mean, it's worthwhile watching if you enjoy art and if you enjoy because she's an artist, so there's a lot of art involved in what she does as part of her her purpose in that world, and also the whole idea of like games and TV shows. So it's like a lot of in-house, like inside joke, inside baseball, like they say in America, kind of thing. But it's fun. It's really fun. Lots of humor, lots of seriousness, lots of action, and it has a it has a boy unicorn in it, like who's ridiculous. Like seriously, he's ridiculous. And yeah, so it's a lot of you'll enjoy it if that's your kind of thing. So yeah, it's all around like art, focusing on art, focusing on parallel universe, focusing on TV, animation, movies, workaholic artist, the whole shebang. A world that's constantly dying, basically. I mean, like about to die anytime because these aliens are trying to attack it continuously. So which is why it goes back to, brings us back to Edge of Tomorrow. So this is the monsters you're talking about, right?
Yeah, the mimics from the movie version.
Okay, so I'm going to turn off this thing. So this is wait. There. So that's what so this is different to the eyeballs shooting lasers. But this is pretty cool. Look at the art though. The design.
Yeah, like the designs, like you saw those things and like these suits is not gonna make it. Like you're that's I think that's the I saw the movie like, oh, that suits doesn't fit, but it's okay. It's like I love the movie anyways. It's a good adaptation. But maybe in the second movie they make the new suits. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, like, you know, it's. I mean, look at the work, man. Like it's
Yeah.
it's a really. I mean, the whole idea, the concept, you know, Groundhog Day, alien attack, you know, but the character designs are really good. I mean, they really, you know, did a really good job at it. Because, like, compared to this, you know, we looked at the other, the actual suit that's in the manga, compared to this is like really bad suits, right? They're just like, it's like exoskeleton. You're gonna get chopped up really easy.
Exactly. Like
That's what they get.
maybe a piece of metal is hitting you and bye bye. Like,
That's it, right? I was just thinking that, like, you get like one of those things wraps around you, you're cut in half.
exactly. Yeah. It happens like the same in the. Did you watch the Starship Troopers movie? Like, it's a classic B movie classic.
Yeah.
I read the novel. The novel is like really amazing. I love it. And also, you read the novel and you hear that the troopers have the Marauder suits. Like they are like it's like a Hulkbuster suit to defeat the aliens. And in the movie, they have like this Kevlar and a helmet and a assault rifle. And okay, soldier, it's your turn. Like
Yeah,
it's so
you're basically like cannon fodder, right? At this point, like
exactly.
none of that suit's going to do you any justice. It's not going to protect you or anything. When you got like things that wrap around you and pull back like a razor, right? You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's that thing. It's like but the movie also was really good.
Yeah, I did. I mean, like I said, I gave it a 9 out of 10. So it's one of my favorite sci-fi's, you know, action movie. So let's get back to, because we don't have you for long. So let's get back to Katsuya carrying on with his
Yeah. Mhm.
live drawings. We got about another
We got
10
him.
minutes. Sorry, what did you say there, Tomas?
No, we got like we got like distracted with science fiction.
Yeah, I mean, like Katsuya does a lot of, you know, I mean, like he worked with Masamune, right?
Yeah.
With his work with Ghost in the
The
Shell.
Apple Seed also, I think.
Yeah, and he does a lot of like sci-fi art, robots and stuff, which is what I love robots. I mean, we've got a comic book coming out called Robot Nation soon, so that's full color, and I'm just doing the final touches on the lettering right now. Here we go. Oh,
前のよりはいいものにしたいみたいなところが
although I'm bored, I will create something better than the previous one as a motivation. So that's not that's pretty good, right? I mean, like I haven't been reading out these translations, but like I mean subtitles. But he goes, although I am bored, the will to create something better than the previous one is a motivation. See, like that's what I was saying. Like always trying to do something better than the last one. That's a good motivation to have, right? Like you're only as good as your last work.
Yeah, maybe 1% at a time. Like a
Yeah.
small percent at a time, and that's a good road.
It's all like when Todd McFarlane said, like, when I found, you know, when he said I couldn't do hands properly, I kept all I did was hands, right? Then all I did was legs and, you know, feet and so on, fingers. And then you get better at it. And I think the motivation to, I mean, why would you want to do the same mediocre stuff as you did yesterday? And, you know, I think as an artist, you always want to outdo your last work, because otherwise, if you're stuck in mediocrity, nobody's really going to appreciate what you're trying to do. It's like, well, what was your last work? You know, you don't want your last work to be better than your new work. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
and it's like you know, it's like Watchmen. It's like everybody's all about Watchmen, but a lot of you know, a lot of Alan Moore stuff. There's some really good works. Like, you know, I think I was reading The Fashion Beast or something like that. The artist on that was really good. The story wasn't that great, but I thought like the artwork was really good that he had. Also, his what was it called? What was it called? I've got it up there, like the top 10. His superhero comics are really good. You know,
Yeah.
you know, compared to Watchmen, I think okay, Watchmen's Watchmen is over there in the absolute, but I mean, it was. Let me see. Fall off the shelves. What was the name of it? Top 10. Oh gosh. Now I have to move a lot of stuff to get to the bookshelf where that is, so I'm going to have to leave that. But I'll try to show it next time. But yeah, I've got the hard covers of it. I just can't remember. I think he did it through not Top Cow, but he did release it through Image under his own label he had there. Actually, maybe I can ask. While this is playing, I'll ask ChatGPT. But yeah, man, like I mean, this is something to take on board if you're an artist, or if you're a creator, or if you're a ladder or anything, right? Because if you are just okay with where you are as a creator or as a writer or artist, I mean, that's fine. But really, you want to challenge yourself, right? You don't want to be stuck in the same spot all the time, because I think
Also, like, yeah.
Correct.
Sorry. Go on. Sorry.
No, because I feel like if you get stuck there, then like you're not actually progressing. Life is about progression. It's about change. It's about learning new things all the time, and your art can only get better and better if you keep at it. And if you just think, well, oh, that one was better than today, then we go, well, how do I make this one better? And you can, not nitpick it, but like look at how you can get better. And I think that's what you need to do. Carry on, Thomas.
Yeah. Also, try to size the challenge that you have. Maybe the maybe most healthy way to approach a challenge is like the challenge has to be a bit more difficult than your actual skills, because maybe, for example,
Yeah.
you draw cartoonish and you want to learn how to draw like Frasera, like from Frasera, and you're gonna end like frustrated because there's like a big spectrum of changes over there. But maybe you will draw cartoony, but now you want to draw maybe more stylized with a bit of realism. Maybe okay, yeah, maybe with a lot of effort you can go to there. But I think that's the key for the challenge. It's the same thing as going to the gym. Like, oh, tomorrow I'm gonna lift 100 kilograms, and you end up hurting your back. It's like,
So as soon as I went and wrote like Chat GPT, right? As soon as I put down P, in my brain went Promethea. I'm like, I spent
okay.
what 3 minutes there trying to figure out what the name of it was, and as soon as I put P there, typed P, my brain just went, it's Promethea. So Promethea is amazing, like compared to Watchmen's Watchmen. But if you want a superhero movie and really amazing, storytelling, Promethea is really, really good. I have all the hardcovers of it. I think, and the artwork, man, the artwork by J.H. Williams, like fantastic artwork. Like the interior pages are amazing. Let me see if I can find one really. Oh, here we go. This is an amazing interior page. Look at the setup. Like, look at that. Have I got you guys, or did I lose it? No, there it is. Yeah.
No, like a lot of detail. Like, my brain is gonna explode. Like,
But it's all part of it, and that's the magic of Promethea. It's like how everything kind of works together. There is no sort of like a square, rectangle box panels. There's like circular ones. They're like different shapes, and it's just all flows in. And I think J.H. Williams III, right? He's brilliant as an artist. Everything, he just lifts Alan Moore's work to a higher level. Just by his bringing in his style to it. Like, check this one out. This is another one here from the interior. See what I mean about like not having square? You know, look at this. You got a flower, you know, going off into sight,
yeah.
blowing in the wind. You know, and just everything's got like really flowy, and just the form of it all. It's just so one with the page. It's like it's part of the page. It's not like trying to fight against the page, and it's just. I mean, just look at that. Even the words, right, flow out of the page or into the page, or the gutter, as they call it, or whatever you want to, you know. And this is like
Yeah.
a connecting page.
It reminds me like the Will Eisner when he made the Spirits cover, that he wrote the title of the Spirit in the background. Like
Right.
he is like the title is part of the background, like that kind of things.
Yeah. Hey, George. This is George. He's the colorist on Incredigo. Tomas.
Okay, hello.
He's a new artist, I should say. He's a new colorist, I should say.
Okay, cool. Hello, nice to meet you.
So he's from your country, except that
From
you're
my
not in your
country?
country. Yeah, he's from Argentina.
Oh, qué bueno.
There you go. You guys can say hello to each other for a couple minutes there while everybody gets to look at this.
Just wait. The connection is a bit lost. Like,
okay.
No, I just what the that's the color. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, like this is what I mean. Why I was saying earlier, they're like everybody thinks about Watchmen, but they don't mention Promethea in the same vein, but they should, because Promethea is really good. You know, Alan Moore, J.H. Williams III, man, it's just fantastic fantasy work. You know, characters it's just so much going on, so many characters, so many design, and it's just perfection, to be honest. And I think if I remember right, it was from Wildstorm that put it out. Oh no, it was America's Best Comics, and this is where he had a major falling out with DC for the second time because Jim Lee sold off ABC Comics, which is America's Best Comics, along with this package of shit over to, because it was under Wildstorm, over to DC. And so yeah, so he hasn't so he's had a long time beef, if I remember right. I might be wrong, with Jim Lee, and of course we know lifelong, almost since the 80s with DC. But this is like the hammer and a nail, like had the coffin. Yeah.
Like, no, what happened with the Before Vendetta? Like the DC said that we don't want that at the moment. After that, Jim Lee sold everything to DC, and after that, Before Vendetta was from DC.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. So yeah, we'll finish this off.
それはやっぱり場所によって変わっていくこともあるだろうなっていう期待がちょっとどっかにあって、なのでまあ息で書きませんかっていう話をされたときに、それは自分の中ではまた別のものが生まれるんじゃないかという期待値がある依頼ではあったわけですよね。だからそれで受けたっていうのは大きいんですけど、ライブドローイングを始めたのはまあ結果的な話で、この10年ぐらいなんですけど、それでやってる中で自分の中のその引き出しみたいなものをどんどん開けていく作業をずっとやってきてるんですけど、もう開ける引き出しがないっていうか、あとはもう組み合わせだったりとか、その中でもやっぱりちょっと自分を信用したいみたいなところがあって、昨日よりはちょっと上手くなってんじゃないのとか、意識して書いていくこと。
This is something really interesting about Katsuya. See, this thing here is like I think I'm out of ideas. You know, he says here, I'm out of drawers. His drawers mean like I'm out of like ideas, right? Because he's like I'm always
Yeah.
reaching in, and he goes, I look at combinations.
あとはもう組み合わせだったりとか、その中でも
However, I want to believe in myself.
ちょっと自分を信用したいみたいなところがあって、昨日よりはちょっと上手くなって。
Thinking that I became better than the day before, and it's the same as what he was saying earlier, right? He was saying that yesterday was yesterday. Now I'm going to do a bit better there. I'm hoping I'm better today. Always trying to surpass himself.
Yeah, that's the key.
とか意識して描いていくことでちょっとでも上手くなっていきたいっていうのが俺の絵を描く最大のモチベーションなんで。
See, it's like he's gone over like every part of that surface. He's got even the frame of this timber, you know, this paneling he's doing. He's using. He's not leaving anything out, and I love that. I like the fact that he's like doing all of that. I remember like doing a painting, an oil painting, which you know is, I gave to a friend of mine, like this big huge thing, and it was Hessian, like the actual canvas was Hessian, like sackcloth, and oil on sackcloth, and then framed in kauri wood that was from my mum's kitchen when it got renovated. So like from the 60s kauri. Kauri is like one of the most expensive hardwoods you can get in New Zealand. It's like if you have a tree that I want you to cut that tree down, the only kauri that you can use is swamp kauri that's sunken, has been cut down in the past, you know, logging years. And so they don't let you cut down new kauri. So I used that as the frame, and I would sand away at it so that like it felt like it was part of it somehow. It was like coming into this world. So I like when like the art, it's like, you know, like doing a full panel page, and then you have like a full page panel, and then you put little panels on top. It feels like it's, you know, there's some pages really need that, some don't, but some really you want to like pull the reader into that page, like really go in. And so I'll look at what I'm writing, and I'll go, okay, this is a good place to have that moment where we have a full page with little panels, right? And that way you can give a wider scope of, you know, wide view of where everybody is or what the scene is. Because, you know, sometimes a little one can be fine and it'll work, but sometimes having a really good visual, you know, page makes people like get drawn back into the, you know, just if it starts getting a bit boring or they're getting a bit, you know, drawn away. It's like when people do action scenes, right? Like every so often you got to like, we need action now. Otherwise people are going, oh yeah, that's getting boring.
Yeah, also like you break the boundaries for the, and also, well, like more details and everything, like maybe also it's refreshing when you're reading something. And it's like it's really good to make a no frame drawing or painting. Is like really awesome.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it kind of becomes part of it. Like it becomes part of that area. Like you look at this, I think this is like, it's just crazy what he's doing here, and all freehand. You know?
俺の絵を描く最大のモチベーションなんで、それの何かの助けには毎回なるんじゃないかという期待を込めて紙の前に立つんですよ。それがうまくいくことはほとんどない。
Is that a dragon?
なんとか
終わったみたいな。Maybe a bird?
いい絵ができたっていうのは全然別の話なんで、そこでどうだって問われると、まだ自分の中ではそのベストではないものしか描けてないっていうところ。
See, he's got like every other artist, he's got the same problem, right? I always think that I'm not drawing my best. You know, you're always like self-conscious.
I think it's the curse of the artist, I think.
Yeah. Or the creative person, because I'm always thinking like, I can be better.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't my best. I'm going to get better and I'm going to get better. You know, but I don't think I'll ever get better. I'm always getting better. You know, I should say I'm always trying to get better. I don't think I'll ever arrive until I'm dead, you know, because then the work will be the work. and that's what people judge me on, right? What's left behind. And until then, I'm going to try my best to be good at it, put out my best. But I just love, that he's been doing this for 10 years, just doing live drawings for 10 years, right? Just doing this, out in the open, doing in front of people, like not like, sitting down at his desk and doing it, but he's, we looked at that other video. He was like in America, just doing this whole room,
Yeah, exactly.
a wall.
そうすると終わるとへこむみたいな。だからもっとできたんじゃないかとか、そういうのはあるんですけどね。まあいろんな制約があってのは。
Yeah, this is the other thing. Like a lot of creatives get depressed after the work is finished. I have a problem where I don't like things to be done. I'll get right to the last page and I'll leave it.
Oh yeah.
And go away and do something else and then come back. It's like sometimes I do that with like watching a TV show, anime, right? Or reading a book. Like it took me, gosh, must have taken me 30, maybe 25 years until I read the last 200 pages of The Dark Tower. Like I have all of them, but I read every one of them except the last 200 pages because I just didn't want it to end, because I knew it was going to end and I knew how it's going to end, because, there's only one way it was going to end and I don't want it to end. And so I left it for about a whole year before I read the last 200 pages. And I think, that's why I think we like trilogies, right? We like things to continue. Carry on.
Yeah. No, it's like that thing that the void after you finish reading, watching, playing a video game, like it's not the same when you read it again or play it again.
Yeah,
it happens to me for the novel of the Three Musketeers, the first one.
Right.
And I think I was in the subway and I was reading the last pages, and it was like it was like saying goodbye to a really good old friend, like.
Yeah.
And I told to my girlfriend also, like, hey, I'm really sad because I end the book and I don't know what to do with my life right now.
Yeah. Well, I was watching, I follow this, this channel called Lord Raptor Jesus, right? And I really enjoy being part of that, community on that channel, like YouTube channel, right? And they were talking about this dude who did the screenboarding, the storyboarding for Dragon Ball Evolution. Now, I've never watched Dragon Ball. I haven't watched Naruto, and I've always said that, right? I have watched about 100 to 150 episodes of One Piece, but I watch anime every week. But Dragon Ball and Naruto, I never grew up with it, so it's never became part of my, life. So it doesn't mean anything to me if I watch it or if I don't. But these guys were saying like they were like their best friends. That evolution had basically killed off their best friends, and I'm like, just like what you're saying, like you don't want the story to end because they were your friends. And I don't think I'm sure I've had that moments, but I can't remember anything off the top of my hand. The one thing I do that comes to mind is Narnia, right? Narnia comes to mind when I was a kid, and that imagination of being able to go into the cupboard, into the wardrobe, and go into this, and their friends in that world, right? They made really great friends, and they came back out of it. Then they would go back in it over the years as kids, teenagers, and so on. And I think Narnia would be the closest I felt like that these were my friends, right? And the characters in those books were my friends, because I was very young at that point. I think I was about 12 or 13 when I read it. And recently, like last year, I went and grabbed all 6 so I could have it in my collection as a set. But I think that's what a lot of people who don't have any sort of connection to the art or to the characters treat it so badly, and they expect that they don't matter to anybody, so they could change the way the character thinks, the way the character works, because it doesn't matter to them, because that's how they think that it doesn't matter to anybody else. And that's why I think a lot of like comics for me basically don't mean anything to me anymore. Like Wolverine and Punisher were my top top comics. I like Storm. I used to love Storm and Bishop, right? And like my relationship, I'll be like every week I had to get a mutant book, right? I used to walk, go into town, got paid, got into town, got paid on Thursday, Friday night I was in town, and I'd go and spend $30, $60, whatever it was, and I'd go home, go hang out with my mates Friday night. On Friday night, I think I'd go hang out with my friends. Sunday would be the day I'd like chill at home and read my comics, because Friday night, say, I'll be drinking with my friends, right? And so, because all my friends were my work friends, so it'd be like, okay, all of us are getting together and going skateboarding and stuff. But but there was a day put aside, if not Friday night or Saturday night, that I'd be just at home reading my comics, and X-Men were my friends. And I think that's, when now they treat them so with such malice and hatred, I just can't bring myself to read an X-Men comic, or read a Punisher comic or Wolverine comic. The only thing that came close to that was this Deadpool and Wolverine movie, right? It felt like this is what Wolverine is supposed to be like. This no shits given character, and just, but he does care, but he shows that he doesn't care, but he does care really deep down. And they really got that character right in Deadpool and Wolverine, and that's why you see like $1 billion. People kept. I'm sure a lot of people went back and watched it over and over again. And not to mention that they'll probably have it on Blu-ray or DVD because of how much they love that that movie compared to all the other crap they had been putting out recently from Disney. And it's important. That's why I think like it's important to have people who care about the characters, who write the characters, not just use those characters as a stepping stone to whatever the hell else they want to do. Because like we were saying earlier, right? Like your last work, you're only as good as your last work. And if your last work is terrible, where you ruined the character and you ruined the book, people are not going to worry about what you do next.
Yeah, because you have to like respect the people in the people. You have to respect the character. Like let it be.
Now you got a question that I can't read, Esther, and I think Tomas is saying, "Where are you from?" in
No,
Argentina.
he's asking if I'm in Argentina. Like, can I answer him in Spanish?
Yeah. I
Okay.
said it before. You guys can talk to each other.
Hey. Hola Jorge, bueno, no, por el momento no estoy en Argentina, estoy en Francia porque estoy con mi pareja ya desde 2022, estamos haciendo temporada de invierno y trabajando esporádicamente por acá y tal vez a fin de año estoy por Argentina. Así que bueno, un saludo a camarada argentino y vamos. That's it. I tell him that I'm in France working.
Yeah, I got that. I know enough about you to know what you were saying. All right.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So for you guys who don't know, like Tomas works with me as a manga artist on one of our books, and he's from Argentina, but he's over there in France working. And man, so today's his day off, and yesterday was his day off, so he's spending some couple of time with us. It's actually 10:30. No, it's actually 10:30. Is it 10:30 there now, Brad?
10:37 p.m.
Yeah, so we're basically like it's 10:37 a.m. here. So let's finish this last bit off, and we'll get you back to sleep because you got work tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
Yeah. So what? Because no, my fault. I'm dragging out. So Katsuya says, I sort of get depressed once I'm done, thinking that I could have done more, and that's the other side of it. Like once you're done, you think, oh, I should have, I could have, and that's what I mean about like I keep writing, I keep changing up till the moment I send it off to the reviewers to check my spelling or to see if everything's right. I think it's not finished until it's published. That's how I see it as, or until it's sent off to the printer, right?
だからもっとできたんじゃないかとか、そういうのはあるんですけどね。まあいろんな制約があってのようなことだから、それはそれで込みでその時の自分の持っているものがどんだけ出たかっていう話でしかないんだけれども。
I love his use of the ball, of the cut, just a vivid pen. Like I've got a couple of them there where the nips cut on a slide, and he can use it to like thick lines or thin lines. Just the way he strokes, like moves a pen strokes, I should say.
Like, really versatile tool. Like I think all the mangakas use that the nip pen.
Yeah, but he's using felts though. It's different to what those mangas are, artists are doing, like the normal pen drawing. But he's using a thick vivids. Let me.
Oh yeah.
「技術的な部分ではうまくはなっていくんですよ。その画面に対してどう自分が動くとどういうストロークが描けるとか、そこで表現力が上がってるかっていう話とはまた別問題で、だから1回目そのライブドローイングみたいなことを始めるにあたって最初白い紙を前にするとこれ書き終わらないんじゃないかっていうところに入っていくんですね。ずっとそういう気持ちと向き合ってって線で埋めていくっていう作業なんですよ、ライブドローイングは。そこは未だに変わらなくて、書けそうな気持ちっていうのはあっていいけど、これは書けるぜと思ったら方向がずれていくっていうか、でずれた時に小さいパニックがやってくるので、基本的にはもうその流れに任せるしかないんだけど、どう流れるかみたいなものを信じて集中力を切らさないっていう作業が割とライブドローイングのほとんどの仕事のような気がしてて、だからまあ疲れますね。
Oh, that brush. It's like a marker or something.
Yeah. So he's using he's using these vivids, right? So these are actually manga style. So you got they're made for that. So this is like a coloring. So this is like the light gray. So on the back, you got the Sharpie sort of point there. This has been used, of course. And then you got like that curve, so it's cut into chiseled. Hold on, that way.
Yeah.
So it's got a chiseled shape.
Yeah.
So it's kind of different to your average. Is it the right way? Yeah. So that's why I thought it was different to just a usual tips and like that. And so because you can have he's using also stuff like this. So it's like you got the thick, wide flows as well as pointed edges. Yeah. So and big thick felt pans as well. So he's making use of not just a single little thing. So like you can see he was drawing before, you got points like this.
He used a big Sharpie also.
Yeah, so this is really there's a Sharpie, and then you see the opposite of that, like really thin. So yeah, and this is like knowing your tool, right? Knowing what strokes you're going to get, because this is a guy who's spent 20 years working on it, and a lot of times this is why I always say to parents to give your kids the tools. If they're drawing something, give them the tools. Give them pen and paper. Give them coloring pencil. Give them felts. Give them whatever. I'm almost I have this, but I hardly use it. It's this is just full of pens because I collect pens and felts and coloring pencils, and there's some are over here. But I wish I had that when I was before I had my accident, but like I had like coloring pencils and felts and everything. But I really enjoyed. I wasn't into inking, so I only enjoyed colored pencils and pencils. Right, I didn't even use pen. It was just like just sketching rather than because I kind of enjoyed just the sketching side of it. So when it came to painting, that's when I would just use color full on. Okay, so let's go back with this. We got another
でも一応
4 minutes.
作品ってやっぱり1個作ると何個かテーマが生まれるので次につながっていくなという気持ちなんですよね。なんかそれでしか前に進めないっていうか、書いてないと書けなくなるし、書いてれば書けなかった部分が次のテーマになるし、行ける場所があるかなっていう気はあるんだろうなと思って、そこはまあ信じながらやっている感じですね。最初はテーマの生み方がよく分かんなかったんだけど、展覧会活動をするようになったのはまあこの7、8年なんで、どこで初めてその自分の作品を作るみたいな難しさがに直面し始めるんですけれども、まあやっぱりその自分の中に別の自分を作るっていうのが作業としてあって、批評的に自分を見られる人、だからその中であれはもうちょっとこっちの方向で絵を描くといいんじゃないのかっていうことを言ってくれる人を
Wait, I think I missed something there. So
自分を見られる人、自分を作るっていうのが作業としてあって、批評的に自分を見られる人、だからその中であれはもうちょっとこっちの方向で絵を描くといいんじゃないのかっていうことを言ってくれる人をいかに客観的に作り上げるかみたいな作業が展覧会かなと思ってて、それはまあなんとなく方法論は今見えてきているので、それほどコマーシャルの時の仕事と違いはなくなってきている。で逆に言うとコマーシャルワークの中にプライベートワークが近づいてきているところもあって、割と2つとも混ざり始めているのが今かなっていう気がしますね。
It's an interesting island. It looks like New Zealand, like just off the coast here. It's really it's a really beautiful place. Erie Island, IRI. Now, Tomas, George had some questions for you. Can you see that?
Yeah, no, that's the previous question that he asking me if I was in Argentina. And the next one, he says that he's living in Santa Teresita, is like the one part of the coast in Argentina. So it's like, I'm from Soy de Buenos Aires, from Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, so what is George is seeing some sort of like a coastal area like this when he's, where he lives, or is this different?
No, I think it's more different. I think there's not too much like cliffs over there. I went to that place maybe 2-3 times. Like I have to check, but it's mostly like coast, sand, and a lot of things.
Nice. So it's like a sandy beach rather than like rocky cliffs and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe if you go more, you get away from the cities or the center, from downtown. Maybe you find some cliffs over there.
It's like he spent the whole day drawing.
Yeah, it's like from the morning to the night. It's like, what?
まだ何もやってない感じしかしないんですけど、まあ振り返るともちろん要所要所にねフラグは立ってるんですけれど、でもなんか思ったより数少ねえなみたいな、そういう見方しかできてなくて、こんなにやってなかったっけっていう 感じですかね。でもそれ、かけた時間に対しての自分のなんだろう、自分が自分にもたらしたものが少なすぎるっていうか、なんかもっと上手くなってたはずなのにとか、そういうことしか今は考えられないですけ
He's
ど。
very critical of himself.
まあ、
Yeah.
逆に言うと30年程度じゃこんなもんかなって
30 years.
してて、とりあえずまあ、あれだ、北斎がね、90歳まで絵を描いていて、で、死ぬ間際の絵とかも、すごいみずみずしいんですけれど、力強いし、年を取るみたいなこととこれから立ち向かっていかなきゃいけないんだけれども、体力が落ちて、集中力も落ちる。で、あと、まあ、もう目もかすむしね、自分と戦う比率がどんどん増えていくっていうか、絵と格闘する以前に、自分をキープしていくっていうのはすごい大事なことなので、気を使う時間を増やすということと、あとまあやっぱり一応目標は100歳以上まではちょっと現役で描いて死にたいなと思っているので、そう考えると、まああと50年。
See, that's the one he just did on that cliff.
まだ
Yeah,
倍以上
the panels,
あります。
those panels that they have in the houses.
Yeah.
ことでしかなくて、昔の
Look at that beetle. Look at that. I think it's about 2 meters by 4 meters. Yeah, so it's 2 by 1. Yeah. Look at how good that is, man.
That's like really big for me.
It's amazing. Just the details and just the use of space and everything. It's like, it feels like this is the mountain, this area here, and then you got the sky. See, you can see the beach.
Yeah.
And this is like the, just a shore of it. And you got a big dragon or a wolf.
Yeah, there was a bird somewhere.
Yeah, you were thinking this was the bird, but this is dragon. But there was a bird. Is this it here? Yeah, it's got the wings.
Yeah, I think so. I'm from the phone, so I can see really well.
You got a demon. You got a gorilla. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
This almost feels like a finger. Carry on.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it looks like it's like a finger, like the way it's pressing. So like you can see like it's a fingernail there. So this one here, like it's a hand, like the knuckle.
Okay.
And then this looks like it's twisted back on itself as a, like that.
Oh yeah.
Man, I wonder how much something like that would cost. I mean, I have no space for it, but I mean, like, it was just crazy.
It has
in the
to come.
thousands.
Yeah.
Katsuya Terada, how much? Katsuya Terada. Terada's panel. Oops. Terada's panel sketches. Because I looked at something the other day and I was like, oh, wow, this is from somebody else's artist and they actually had a price on it. Wait, it's about Katsuya wrong. Maybe they got it right. Yeah. Copy. Let me see. Almost there. Right. So acquiring an original panel sketch can vary in price depending on the factors such as the artwork's complexity, size, and provenance. While specific prices for panel sketches are not readily available, some insights into its artwork pricing include original illustrations. A piece titled X-Ray Woman was listed for sale at $500 on Comic Art Fans. His art books his art books go for around about $30, $28 on Amazon. But yeah, I think anything, anybody would be getting from Katsuya would be, private commissions, and there would be like the large size of them would be for actual, large homes or businesses or art, art collectors, and also maybe for, private collectors.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe a unique piece.
Yeah. I mean, he's been at it for, excuse me, he's been doing this for 30 years, and he's got body of his work is huge. I think I had a listing of it. Where did I have a listing of all his work? Is it the one? Hold on. But like he keeps saying, like, I'm always judging myself. I'm hoping to get better and better and better, and I'm not there yet. And he's critical of the fact that he hasn't, he hasn't challenged himself enough.
But he also makes a good work. It's like,
yeah, his work, I mean, like, is out of this world. It's just. Let me just show you this one piece before we carry on with the video. Look at this. I mean, we saw that large piece, but look at this.
Yeah.
You got a dinosaur, you got robots, you got dogs, cats, humans, pigs, deer. Probably looks like a rat up here. Sort of mouse. Was it a cat? I think it's a panther or something. So there's a lot of elements of nature involved, as well as fantasy, right? And technology, like this mask here in his work. He's basically like what he does. He's like a standout on his own. Like we talk about like artists having a style, like that's his style, and it's like this is who what he does. He uses negative space and positive space in a really amazing way. Like this here, this is like the whole sky behind him, and there's the island.
Yeah, like a mixture of everything.
本当にもうなんかどうでもいいというか、覚えてないっていうか、振り返ろうとしても霞がかかっているっていう、そういう感じなんで、今後に期待してください。こんな感じです。
See, that's a great quote, and I'm gonna, where is it? So look forward to the future. That is all, right? And I want to go back to what we started with, the quote that we started with, which was, and we'll finish with this. What am I doing here? Keeps. And so we'll stop that. That's the end of that documentary. Links in the chat. That's like one day. So what? I think I did something and I've messed up my screen. Let me see if I can get it back. Here we go. I had it and I lost it again. So now we started with this, I would, from Miyazaki, I would like to make a film to tell children it's good to be alive. And that's where I want to leave you guys with this today is, have an amazing day, have an awesome week. If we don't see you again on this channel, do check out my other channel. And check out our social media stuff, with Plunge Comics and on Facebook and so on. Would love for your support when we do our, when we release our comics out from Plunge Comics. We have our manga with Tomas called the Tortoise, which he's working on at the moment. We also have George, who was in the chat there. He's coloring the issue 2 of Incredible, which we're hoping to get out this year. Not too far, too many months away. I just got to go over it and make sure everything's all good, and then we'll get to the review editing stage, and then we'll put it out on Kickstarter. Now, for those of you who didn't get to see our last live stream, which was with the new Boomtown, Texas, Borgia, Texas, upcoming independent convention next month, I showed off some pieces from issue 1 from Incredible. And so let me get rid of Mr. Miyazaki. And so this is going to be released there. If you're in Texas, America, this that convention will be the first place we will be, showing off the first comic publicly of Incredible to everybody. And so at the moment, we haven't really released it publicly. It's been on Kickstarter, and then after that, I just gave a couple to my friends and to my family, and that was it. But there's a whole lot that's going to be for sale over at the convention. If you're in Texas, if you're at the convention, they're called Boomtown Comics Convention, and they have everything. So do check it out on their website, on Facebook. Do check out the live stream we did with them last what his name? Apologies, that we did with him last week. So it's on here, and the channel just goes through the past live streams. Now, with that being said, thank you, Tomas, for joining us. Did you want to say, because we're going to do this whole series, The Happy Place, where we talk about comics, manga, and movies, and all that, and creative artists, and so on. Did you want to add anything else, Tomas?
Yeah, I think find the balance. That's important. We talk about hard work today and improving yourself and being better. For a piece of advice that I can say is you have to rest as hard as you work. That's it. If you work hard, you have to rest. The same thing. You can be a workaholic, or you can be a slacking person. So it has to be a balance. And 1% better than the last day. That's it. Just 1% better, and you're gonna reach a long way.
Yeah. Practice what you're bad at, and until you get it right. And I think that's
your weaknesses.
Yeah. If you as a writer, if I'm bad at writing emotion, I'm looking at emotion moments in anime, in movies, so I can get better at writing emotion. And same with action scenes. If you're really bad at action scenes, look at a lot of action movies and a lot of, look at how manga is doing it, how comics artists are doing it, because that'll help you. You got to keep learning. I think this is the thing, to get better at anything, you got to keep learning and keep practicing. So thank you. We'll catch you the next time. Thank you for checking us out. If you like our videos, leave us a like, subscribe, or share. Thank you so much. Ka kite ano. Now, I think I have messed up my screen, and my screen won't do what it needs to do to end. So I am going to just finish off the way we normally do. And that is, I can't even find the ending screen. So give me 1 second, guys. This is just really bad. My screen just decided it wanted to mess around with me. There it is. Okay, so thank you. I found it. Please leave leave a like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Tomas. We'll see you next week, man. Kick it down, everybody. Have a safe week.
Nope. Can't stay here anymore. I gotta get back. I think this was the spot. Oh Lord, I beseech thee, please return me to my old life. I swear I'll do anything. Like, literally anything. And I won't bother you again, so pretty please bring me back to life.